Here are the top 5 ways to never have to fire someone again and also end up with an exceptional team in the process. Number 5, hire the right people. It is so important that you bring the right people onto your team. Don't be hasty. Hold out for the right candidate, which means be intentional about your recruitment strategy. Who are you bringing in and why? What characteristics are important to you? Hire for emotional intelligence and growth mindset. There are questions to ask that focus on these things in the interview process. It must be equally important that somebody is competent and how they perform their role and their actual job function, as well as how they show up as a human being. Their ability to communicate, navigate, and embrace change, like how they show up as a human being and impact people around them, is just as important as how they perform their role. Number 4, have a killer onboarding strategy. Make sure from day one you are setting that person up for success. Make sure that it's very clearly articulated to them how they can show up and crush it in their role. Give them a mentor, put them in an environment that makes it very clear how they can absolutely show up and crush it in their role from day one. Number 3, invest in exceptional leadership. Make sure that your leaders in your organization are great at communicating, coaching, giving feedback, that they have high emotional intelligence, which means that they can interact with and influence and build rapport and relationships with different types of working personality styles, etc. Almost any time that you have an individual person or a team who has performance or behavior issues, you can point to the ineffectiveness of a leader to be able to bring those people into greatness and coach them along the way so that they do not get off track that way. Invest in leaders, make sure that they're exceptional. So important. Number 2, ongoing performance, guidance, and support. It is not good enough once every year or once every 6 months to let an employee know how they're doing. To have ongoing, consistent course corrections so that if anybody, either in performance or behavior issues, starts to veer off track, they can be coached, brought back into greatness immediately so that they never get far enough to where their job is at stake because of their performance or attitude. That needs to be consistent and on a regular basis. And number 1, the one that I think is the most important, is to have an exceptional, intentional culture. And when I say that, I don't mean everybody likes each other and we get along. Nope. I mean a very strategic, specific, clearly articulated set of expectations and guidelines around behaviors and what is expected of every single person and how they show up, perform their role, and impact other people on the team. And something that we are fiercely committed to as an organization that apply to every single person, the CEO and someone brand new who's been there on the front line for 2 days. When we have that in place, from the moment that we onboard people, when we have traditions around it, when we coach and feedback, when we perform, when we give people promotions or reward for those behaviors, we automatically create a system where people are accountable to show up that way. And having conversations about performance and behavior issues become less common and less needed because people are more accountable because they know exactly what is expected of them. If you don't have that, our strategic culture plan is exactly for creating that. We will share that with this video. Those are the 5 things. Hire the right people, onboard them effectively, make sure that your leaders are exceptional, give regular, ongoing, consistent guidance and support for people, and have an exceptional culture where every single person knows exactly what is expected of them in their behavior and how they show up and perform their jobs. When all of those things are in place, you end up with a very high caliber, engaged, high performing team, and you aren't having to fire people all the time because of behavior and performance issues, because people know from day one exactly what is expected of them, and you set a high bar that people will adhere to. You like my stank face?